This is Heather from Intentionally Fit. Today I'm going to teach you about how to do balsamic chicken. Now the recipe is in the 90-10 recipe board on my Pinterest account. So if you want to find that, that's where it's located. It's actually under chicken thighs, but the wonderful website that it's from, sugarfreemom.com, she actually does an alternative if you want to use chicken breasts instead of thighs. So we do chicken breast, and I just got back from the grocery store and I scored $1.87, $2.50, $1.98 on a pound each of chicken breasts. So I figured that was pretty good, and I'm just going to double the recipe and throw it into the crock pot. Now, if you know what time it is when I'm doing this, it's 3:45. It's way too late for using this as dinner. But this is a really good make-ahead meal that you can do for tomorrow or through the week. And so I'm just going to go ahead and do it because we need food for tomorrow. So I'm going to show you. It calls to put extra olive oil, extra virgin olive oil in your crock pot. So you're just going to put it on the bottom of the crock pot. And then then it calls for 4 cloves of garlic. So we're gonna smash up some garlic. I'm not into doing the powdered garlic. For the 90-10 plan, you need to use regular garlic anyway. So that's how it fits into the green tier. So we're just gonna peel it and we're gonna smash it, kind of like we did the other recipe. If you've seen that, the sticky chicken alternative. So we're gonna do that and just smash it. Throw it in the crock pot. I want to do these at real time so you see how much time it really takes to prep for this. And I know that makes it kind of boring sometimes, but I think it helps give you an idea that you actually have more time than you think you do. So if you spend this time the night before, then you wouldn't have to worry about being 4 o'clock in the afternoon and being late for dinner like I am. So, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do for that. Instead of doing this crock pot chicken for dinner, I bought some ground turkey, and I'm going to do the chipotle turkey meatballs. And actually, I turned those into burgers just because they cook a little faster, because I don't have to cook so many little ones at a time, and then my kids feel like they're getting, something special. So we've done both. We've done them as meatballs, and we've done them as burgers. And I will tell you that the meatballs tend to be a little more moist, but I think that's just because I haven't found the right cooking temperature for the burgers. So, and I don't have a grill. So in our apartment, we used to have a grill at our house, but we don't have a grill here. So I use the cast iron skillet, and it does a nice crust on it, just like you were doing a charbroiled burger outside. So I was pretty happy with that. So that made me feel a little happier about not having a grill in the apartment, because you just can't. So I am smashing all the garlic. And it calls for 4 cloves, and I did a few more, and I did a couple big ones because I'm doubling it. So, and I did smash them and they minced them up. It actually calls for that minced garlic that you can buy pre-mixed and ready. And, it's not really a big deal to buy a clove of garlic, and they're not. Let me remind you, okay, for those of you who don't cook a lot, this whole thing here, this is an entire bulb of garlic. This is not the clove of garlic. A clove of garlic is one little blossom piece out of this big bulb. And I know that sounds simple, but there are a lot of people who don't know that. And if you try to put 4 bulbs of garlic into your chicken, you're going to be a little garlic overload. And nobody wants to see you for like a week. So just wanted to point that out to you. So then we have that, and it calls for those dried minced onions. Well, I don't ever keep them in the house because I keep a lot of fresh onions in the house. So I'm just going to mince up my own onion and throw that in there because, face it just tastes better this way. Now, if you like those little dehydrated onions, that's okay. I mean, you can throw them in there, and they'd definitely be faster if you haven't cut these up already. But it doesn't take much time to just mince up some onion. So I'm just cutting it up, and you know, you cut them as tiny as you want. I kind of like them bigger, but I'm the only one in my family that likes them that way. So the smaller I cut them, the less arguing I hear from the kids. So, and we also have to be careful because now we have a dog in the house and or inside, and if I chop them up and drop them on the floor, you know, she'll get sick. So that's not good either. So I'm just chopping up some onions, and then I'm going to throw those in too. Alright, slide it off your knife. Push it in off your cutting board. Remember, don't use the same cutting board for your chicken, because that's just gross, and you'll get sick and salmonella, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm so sick, I'm never making my own food again. And that's not a good idea. So, again, I'm going to use my fun, hefty, wonderful kitchen shears. I'm going to just cut them open. And the recipe calls for you to slice your chicken lengthwise. So, that's when these come in handy. And it's almost like you're making them into, I don't know, like fingers, chicken fingers. So I cut the fat off because I just don't like it. That's up to you. My husband would freak out if I left any of it on there. So, okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to just dump the chicken in there. So that's all I'm going to do for just a minute. I'm just going to slice them up and throw them in, slice them up. So this is not a lot of time. I mean, right now we're at 6 minutes, and we are almost done. So there's one package. The recipe actually calls. Oops, I'm off in the picture. The recipe calls for 4 chicken breasts, and so I'm really just going to double it, and I'm going to do about 8. That's really weird. Because I think that if you have the means to double it, that means that you will have less time that you need to spend doing it again. So you can use that time for things like getting your workout in. Wouldn't that be nice? You get your workout in and get your dinner made for dinner for your family. So that's about. There we go. Now, you don't have to be especially precise when cooking things in the crock pot. It's not like you're baking and you need to have exact chemistry measurements for your bread to rise and for your cookies to rise and stuff like that. So you can kind of tweak it a little bit. If you want more onions, you can put more onions in. If you want to put something else in, like some peppers or other kinds of veggies, you can do that. If you like more sauce, you can put a little bit more of the balsamic vinegar in there. Oh, I put the wrong thing in there. Look at that. I threw the fat in there instead of the chicken piece. That's not going to work. So, the crock pot is fairly forgiving as long as you're really attentive to your temperature setting and your timing. Now, I can tell you little tricks that I use for mine, but everybody's crock pot is a little bit different. And I have 2 crock pots, and I cannot set them the same. So the one crock pot cooks hotter than my other one. And until I realized that, I was coming home to food that wasn't cooked or food that was overcooked. And that just didn't make any sense to me. So make sure you wash your hands because obviously you're using chicken, salmonella. You don't want to be all gross and nasty like that. So, okay. The next step is we're going to put all of the rest of the ingredients. It says to put them in a small bowl. Because I am doubling it, I'm going to need a little bit bigger than a small bowl. So I'm going to use my glass measuring bowl. These little, I almost left the door open. Okay, I'm just going to use this, and it says that you have 1 cup of balsamic vinegar. Now, remember, I doubled it, so I'm going to use a lot of vinegar. So we're going to just open that up. This is obviously brand new. I just got it from the grocery store today. So we're still not very far into it. I broke the cap. Look at that. See? So now I have to make another way. So we're going to put the 2 cups of balsamic vinegar in, and then we're going to put some salt and pepper and some dried basil. So I use just this regular sweet basil. I got it from Kroger. It's actually Kroger brand. And we're going to sprinkle all of that together. Vinegar does not come out of the jar very quickly. There you go. That's going to take most of your time. Vinegar coming out. Okay, I'm kidding. That's not really true. But, so we got the 2 cups of vinegar in there. We've got, it says 2 teaspoons, so you're going to 4 teaspoons. And I am a dumper, so I am technically dumping. Okay? So, like I said, it's fairly forgiving. And I would be careful with your pepper if you have people that don't like pepper. So I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. And then we have a little bit of sea salt that we're going to use. I use Mediterranean. You can use pink Himalayan sea salt. It has a lot of really good nutrient qualities. So here we got it. And then all we're going to do is we're going to dump it over there. All right. Dump it in. Now, the recipe says to cook it on high for 4 hours. Well, remember, I'm not doing it for dinner. I'm doing it for tomorrow. And I think that if you spend a little more time cooking it with a lower setting, that your chicken will be a little more moist. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on low, and I'm just going to cook it till about the time that I go to bed tonight. And I'll check it off and on during the evening while I'm, reading and putting my kids in bed and all of those things. Every once in a while I'll just do that. But that's really it. And so that was 12 minutes, and you have maybe a whole week's worth of food if you were the only one eating it. So that's not very hard at all. So I know you can do it. So I want you to try it. This recipe is in the 9010 Pinterest board. So, and it's called Crock-Pot Balsamic Chicken Thighs, and there's a little link to it. It says to make it out of chicken breasts instead of thighs. So I hope you're having a great day, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.